Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Chat with Alumni. This afternoon, we have Brian Tan, who's a regional economist with Barclays Bank. Brian, welcome to our chat today. Please introduce yourself to the alumni.
Thanks. Good to be here, Valerie. Well, as Valerie said, I'm Brian Tan, regional economist at Barclays Bank. I graduated in the class of 2010, and over the past 10 years, gosh, it's been 10 years. Over the past 10 years, I've worked in various economics research departments at a number of banks. And in my current role, in this career, what I do is essentially I help investors to understand what is going on in the particular economy and where that economy might be headed towards. So that's broadly, what I do, and I help with that, we help to figure out what the right investment decisions are going forward.
Okay. Do share how has studying economics built your career in your career in research?
Well, as an economist, one of my friends said, I am one of the few who is actually doing what they studied in school. So, clearly having studied economics, that's going to be pretty useful if you are going to be an economist. Well, in my field specifically, the focus is very much on macroeconomics. So, things like macroeconomics, things like econometrics, public finance, money and banking, things which should be pretty familiar to current and former economics students. Yep. These would be your bread and butter. But at the same time, we deal a lot with microeconomics as well. You cannot really run away from these things in the real world. And sometimes some topics can be pretty specialized. So for example, when we talk about ESG today, carbon taxes, that module I took a long time ago on environmental economics comes in pretty handy to understand what these things are about. And when you hear, for example, about freight rates surging these days, about that unfortunate blockage at the Suez Canal, that special semester I took, in maritime and shipping economics also has come in pretty handy. So, it's as an economist, clearly having studied economics, that's been of great help.
That's true. I see. Wow, you have grown your career in the economics field, and all you have learned in NUS will help you throughout your career.
That's true.
So what would be your advice to alumni going into similar field as yours? And how can you give back to them if they reach out to you from this interview?
Well, I would say if you're thinking of entering this industry or markets in general, it helps a lot to be very curious. You would need to read and learn widely, because when we're dealing with the real world, and things are never ever so nicely segmented into economics and non-economics. Very often as an economist, I don't just do economics, and in the real world today, all sorts of non-economic topics have become very, very relevant to what we do and what happens in financial markets. You need to know about politics, for example. You need to know about technology. And even, and over the last 2 years, you would have needed to know something about, epidemiology with the pandemic going on. Without that, you would not be able to do your job. So it's you need to know a lot and be very curious and not just confine yourself in just terms of what you need to study for exams and what's in the economics fields just narrowly. You need to do it pretty widely. Look, if anyone is interested in reaching out to me, I would be very happy to share my perspectives on the industry, whether it's about what's going on or, about entering the industry, or just, advice on career decisions or interview skills in general, or even if anyone's just interested to talk about economics and financial markets, that's fine as well.
Okay, great. That's so good, nice of you to open up to other economists and other potential alumni to connect back to you and have a coffee chat with you too. Thank you so much, Brian.
I always welcome coffee. Thank you, Valerie.